Ali, how do you call this one?
Yeah, it was just a silly foul to commit, really. There was no real need for it. And we've gained a free kick.
So free kick to England. Looks Shaw to take. Takes a few steps backwards. And the referee now trying to get everybody into position. We're now past the 5-minute mark. Kane looks on. Luke Shaw has raised his hand. He kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, but deflected away by Hernandez. And a very good job he did of that as well. But it doesn't matter. It's offside. What do you think could have caused the offside?
Maybe Maguire's leaning slightly offside, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's clear cut.
Yes, I would have to agree. It didn't look like anybody was offside. So a goal kick to France, and that will be taken by Hugo Lloris. Headed forward though by England, but just taken at the last minute again by Lloris. Although I think Upamecano looked like he was going to try and get a foot or something. But anyway, France now back. But anyway, it's now France back in possession with the ball. It's Upamecano. It's Upamecano now with the ball. Upamecano crossing to Mbappe, but intercepted by Kyle Walker. Although England aren't out of the woods yet, is this a chance for France? It isn't. Giroud must have got his timing wrong. He completely missed the ball, but France could try and make up for that, and it's sent away by Shaw. Throw in by France to I think that was Upamecano, but I couldn't be so sure. But that attack by France, Giroud just missed that.
Yeah, I think the ball was played just in behind Giroud, which made it a bit harder. But I mean, this game is, you can't just go, this game's being cagey. It's really end to end.
It certainly is. It certainly is, and it looks as though the pace has now built up even more, and England are now back under control with the ball. It's Luke Shaw passing to Stones. Now passing to Maguire, I should say. Now it's gone to Stones. Back to Maguire. Although Giroud is watching his every move. It's Maguire crossing forward to Bukayo Saka, but Bukayo Saka was a long way away from the ball, and it will be a goal kick to France. So we're just about approaching the 8th minute. It's still England 0, France 0, and you're listening to the Commentary Hub with Nicholas Jones and Luke Turton. We're also on the Commentary Hub too, JB Sports, Storm FM, Turton Talks Football, and you can also hear us on our Twitch channel. So, Lloris gets ready to clear the ball out of goal for France. He does. But where's it going to end up? It's actually with Kyle Walker is the answer, although Griezmann tries to get ahead to it. Now it's back with France through Giroud, and he's passed this time to Mbappe, I think it was. Now the ball is sent forward to, I think that was almost to show me. Now the ball is with Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann passing forward to Ousmane Dembele. Now the ball is inside the 18-yard box. France just missed that chance this time. Now the ball is being passed around to Rabiot. Rabiot has now found, I think that was Upamecano. Yes, indeed it was. Now Upamecano passing this time to Varane. Varane sending the ball forward this time to Griezmann. Griezmann has to hold off Bellingham, and Bellingham that was a tame tackle. That was a tame tackle by Bellingham in my view. He just touched the ball, but remarkably Griezmann didn't go down, and England could well pay for that. It's now given a corner to France. A team like England just cannot afford slip-ups like this, and the referee now having a bit of a chat with Jordan Pickford about possibly about which position he should be in. as Griezmann gets ready to take the corner for France. Varane and Tchouaméni look on and wait expectantly for the ball. And we should receive the ball inside the 18-yard box any minute now, as Griezmann kicks the ball in towards the goal, headed away though by the captain Kane, and England did well to head that ball away when they needed to.
Yeah, and England needs to get hold of the ball a bit more up the other end of the field, because if we keep allowing France to get into these dangerous positions, we are going to concede.
So throw into England as we approach 10.5 minutes. The ball's now being thrown. So I think that was Luke Shaw, but intercepted by France. It's now with Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann now passing to, I think that's Mbappe. Mbappe crossing to Giroud, but saved by Jordan Pickford. That was some diving header by Giroud, and that's almost resulted in a goal. But it was just unfortunate for him that Pickford was there when it mattered.
If we're going to keep leaving Dembele space like that, then he's going to be licking his lips all day. It's ridiculous. You've got to at least have players in the spaces.
Even Stevens, in terms of possession, 44% each. And the ball's now being passed back down to Pickford. And he manages to clear the ball out to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker needs to pass to somebody up front, and quick. But he's still holding on to the ball. He manages to pass this time to Bellingham. Bellingham now passing to, I think that's Luke Shaw. Now back to Bellingham. Bellingham this time now finding John Stones. Now Harry Maguire. Maguire passes back to John Stones. Now he's crossing forward to Luke Shaw, and Shaw now has to find Kane, but the ball is intercepted by Koundé, and Koundé now passes to Griezmann, and France once again still have control. It's now with Mbappe, I think it was. Now the ball's been passed back to Koundé, almost tackled by Foden. Koundé again. And now Koundé passing this time to Varane. Varane this time to Upamecano. And Upamecano crossing the forward to, I think that's Theo Hernandez. Yes, indeed it is Hernandez. Hernandez back to Varane. And now the ball is with I think that was Koundé, then Varane. Now it's passed to him. Now it's passed to Dembele. Back to Varane. Now it's gone back to Dayo Upamecano. Upamecano has now passed back to Hernandez. Varane for France, and Varane needs to go like the clap is here. Now the ball falls to Antoine Griezmann, and Griezmann passing to Rabiot, but he has to pass back to Griezmann. A really good snap decision, and straight now back to Theo Hernandez, who's now found Upamecano, but a bit of a tackle going on between England and France. Referee saying play on. It's now with Harry Kane, and Kane almost inside the 18-yard box, but he has to give the ball back. And now the ball this time is with Jordan Henderson. Henderson to Kyle Walker. Now it's with Harry Maguire. Maguire now passes up front to Shaw, who passes back to Maguire. Or should I say up the wing? Now it's back with Maguire, Rice. Now John Stones. Stones now has to pass back to Kyle Walker, and Walker now finding Jordan Henderson. Henderson passes again to Walker, and it's Walker now back to Harry Maguire. Now it's Declan Rice, though he's got Olivier Giroud for company. He has to pass back again to the likes of Stones and Maguire. It's now once again with Kyle Walker. 14 minutes in, England 0, France 0, and France now the ball again with Rabiot. France are really going for it this time. Can they find an opening? Mbappe goes for a shot, but unfortunately Dembele just couldn't get to it in time. And Luke, this confirms your point. England just can't give France opportunities like this because inevitably something will have to give.
It's such a lax pass into midfield from Henderson to Saka, which basically allowed Rabiot to steal the ball, run straight through, and then, I mean, if Mbappe played in a better ball, France were in. We've got to get a grip on this lax passing in the first half, because at some point aside, we'll capitalise on it.
The ball has now found John Stones, and the France supporters are loving this game, given how well France are performing right now, and it's now with the ball is now with Maguire, who passes to Stones. Now it's with Jordan Henderson. Remember, Henderson scored first in the last game against Senegal, and now he's passed to Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham now to Luke Shaw. Now back to Maguire. It's Henderson once again. Henderson passes again to Stones. Now back to Henderson. Henderson has to watch out for Olivier Giroud, and he does well this time too. It's a pass to Maguire. Maguire now to Declan Rice. Are England now pushing their way forward? Indeed they are, and he's now passed down the wing to Kyle Walker. Now it's with Bukayo Saka. Saka has to be careful, but he loses the ball to France, and now it's with Upamecano. Upamecano now passing this time to Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe, one of the revelations at the last World Cup in Russia. And he passed back to Meccano, who passed back to Mbappe. Now it's with Ousmane Dembele. Dembele now just inside the 18-yard box, straight now to Antoine Griezmann. Now the ball is found to Shaimi, and France are in front. Tchouaméni has opened the account for France, and if England aren't careful, they will concede more. What an amazing finish by France!
That strike was brilliant, but I mean, it all came from Mbappe and Dembele creating an overload. I kind of agree with what John Stones is saying, that there's a foul on Saka right at the other end of the field, start off where the ball came. But when you're coming forward like that, and the ball goes into Mbappe, and he's allowed to run straight across and play it out to the other side, it's now creating an angle. When it comes back to Griezmann, he slides to Tchouaméni. There's just too many players blocking Pickford's view. It's an absolutely stunning strike. I still think it was a foul though on Saka at the other end of the field.
And that is Tchouaméni's second goal in his 19th appearance. The midfielder who plays at Real Madrid. And just having another look at that again, it seemed to me as though there was nothing Jordan Pickford could do, and Didier Deschamps, the reaction on his face, one of joy, and also in the French crowd as well. England have really got to make up for this now. The ball has now been passed around to Luke Shaw. Now it's back with Harry Maguire. Now it's John Stones, I should say. Now it is with Maguire once again. Maguire now passing to Kyle Walker. Now back towards Harry Maguire. And Maguire now crossing the ball down the wing to Henderson. Henderson now to Bukayo Saka. And Saka just several yards ahead of the 18-yard box, but couldn't get through that time. Now the ball is back with Bukayo Saka. He's trying to find an opening, but is fouled by Rabiot, and the referee issues immediately a free kick to England. To me that was yellow card worthy.
Well, from what we've seen so far in the quarter-finals, that's definitely yellow card worthy, but I think this referee sees it differently. But where that came from was Bellingham created the angle after hitting the deck himself, which allowed Saka to then drift onto the inside and cause Rabiot some problems. We've got to do more of that. Be a bit less predictable and stop playing the ball around at the back, where it's just going to be easy pickings for the French when we come forward, when we start come forward, because they just set themselves. We've got to hit them on the counter a bit more, but also make use of these sort of situations here.
It's either going to be Luke Shaw or Jordan Henderson to take the free kick for England, and David Beckham watching on in the stands. I think that's him anyway. So, but it looks like it'll be Shaw that will take. Looks like it'll be Shaw that will take the free kick. Shaw and Henderson seemingly not able to make up their minds right now as we approach the 20th minute, and it looks to me as though it will be Henderson that will take the free kick. No, in fact, he does the dummy, and Shaw goes for the shot, but saved by Hugo Lloris. To me, that was goal bound, but France can only thank their lucky stars that Lloris was there when it mattered.
Yeah, they just wanted enough curl on it to go into that corner. It was a bit kind of round and straight at Lloris. I'm just going to get the ball better now. Come on, get the ball back.
20 and a half minutes in, England 0, France 1. And it's a throw in to England. Swiftly taken by Walker, who passes to Stones. Now it's with Maguire. Maguire passes back to Stones, and Stones now passes down the wing to Kyle Walker. Walker needs to find an opening fast, but he can only pass back to John Stones. And Stones now looking to try and find an opening, but he can only pass to Bellingham, who passes again to Walker. Now it's still with England. And Griezmann now trying to get the ball, but England so far having none of it. It's now once again with Bukayo Saka. Saka now passing to Harry Kane. Get this the chance for England to get back. It's now back with Jordan Henderson. Was Bellingham going to head it through? He wasn't. And that's I think is the closest England have come to scoring so far. But they just haven't been able to put themselves forwards.
Brilliant play to get up to the box, and then when the header came into the back post, it just needed to be a diving header, and we just messed it up completely.
Foden now passing it to I think that's Shaw. Now once again it's with Harry Maguire. Maguire passing it to Stones, and Stones now passing back to Declan Rice, I should say. It's Rice now to Shaw and Foden. It's Luke Shaw now with the ball passing again to Bellingham. Now once again it's with Harry Maguire. Maguire now needs to cross the ball sharpish, which he does, but headed away by Rabion. And Rabion now finds Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann passes to I think that's Upamecano. Now he's passes to Teo Hernandez. The ball was almost with Mbappe. Now was tackled by Jude Bellingham for England. It's now with Jordan Henderson, but France were able to clear that. France were able to deflect that ball away, though it has given England a throw in. Just taking a look at that again on my monitor, the Kane with Kane. In fact, from what I'm seeing, he should have taken the shots a bit sooner when he needed to, but he mistimed it and just went straight into Lloris.
Yeah, hit it earlier, straight over the oncoming Lloris, and it got in. That's where I'm a little bit now critical of that from Harry Kane. He needs to hit that either first or second touch. Took way too many touches, and that's why he didn't score.
Certainly does look like it, and the ball is now once again with John Stones. Stones now passes to Kane, who passes this time to Rice, and pass again to I think that's Shaw. Now it's with Henderson. Now it's with Maguire, who passes to Kane now, and in fact the ball has gone to Jude Bellingham, but it was tackled by France, and so England have to start all over again. The ball, and it's ended up back with Harry Maguire. Maguire now to Declan Rice, and Rice crosses down the wing to Bukayo Saka, but intercepted by France. It's now the ball is now with Theo Hernandez, but England have entered the 18-yard box with Kane, and Kane fouled just outside. Kane was fouled just inside. To me, that didn't look penalty worthy, no matter what Harry Kane says. And but I have to say, Upamecano. But I have to say, Upamecano didn't do anything malicious. How do you see this?
I don't know. There's arms around and there's a leg around, and I've seen
we're going to
given.
Sorry to interrupt. We're going to a VAR check for a possible penalty, and the referee now doing the customary hand signals to see whether it is to see whether a penalty will be confirmed. So England fans wait with bated breath, and the referee now talking to everybody inside the VAR booth. We're still Kane has I think calmed down, although like I mentioned earlier, I'd say he had no right to complain.
The longer this goes on, the longer. No, okay, doesn't like maybe at all, does it?
No, and So the decision has been taken. Check over, and no penalty. So the game can now resume. England will definitely feel hard done by this, as Stones now passes to Maguire. So we're just about 26. So we're almost 26 and a half minutes in. It's still England 0, France 1. As Declan Rice now passes the ball up the field, up the wing, I should say, to I think that was Luke Shaw, but intercepted by France, and it's now with Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe has to go around Jude Bellingham, but they can only pass down to Theo Hernandez, and the ball has now been passed around this time to Tushiomi. The ball is with Koundé. Now back to Tushiomi. Ball recovery time longer for France, 32 seconds in comparison to England's 21. But at this moment in time, France still managed to hold on to the ball. It's Tushiomi to Radio. Apologies if I say any unfamiliar French names wrong. And the ball is now ball's now being crossed forward by Varane. Varane couldn't find anyone up front, but it was taken by Jordan Pickford, and England still regain control of the ball. Paul James comments saying that incident involving Kane looked outside the box, to be honest, I'm about 50-50 in terms of agreeing with him on that one. It's Stones now with the ball. He passes back to Harry Maguire, and Maguire crosses down the wing to Jordan Henderson, but passes to Bukayo Saka. Saka tries to hold on to the ball, but was cut up by France. Very quickly taken though, but he loses the ball to Radion. Saka takes the ball back, and the ball is now inside the 18-yard box through Jordan Henderson, but well intercepted by France. England now have the chance to try again. It's Declan Rice now. He passes to Harry Kane, and punched away by Lloris. Harry Kane unlucky not to level this. Unlucky not to level for England. France, it seems, just can do no wrong with Hugo Lloris around. And a corner is to be taken by England. It'll be Foden. It'll be Foden to take the corner, and everyone guessing and everyone now getting into their positions. England will have to use this corner to benefit, and Kane and Rice stand in their positions, as does John Henderson. Foden raises his hand and kicks the ball into the 18-yard box. Is this the chance for England? Bit of a scramble going on inside the 6-yard box, but France were able to deal with that. And it still remains after 29.5 minutes. England 0, France 1. And Jude Bellingham has the ball. England are not giving this one up. It's Shaw to Maguire. Now again it's with Jude Bellingham. Bellingham passes down the wing to Jordan Henderson. Henderson now passes the ball again to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker now to Stones. And Stones now passes this time to Bellingham. Bellingham under pressure from Antoine Griezmann, but he passes back to Saka. Now Saka back to Bellingham, and Jude Bellingham has gone down, but the referee isn't interested. Play still goes on, and Saka complaining. I think he might have been forced out of play, but he was offside anyway. But forcing the ball out like that was a bit violent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit physical, and I think at the end of the day, we're still not really running at them enough to create the space for ourselves. And Harry Kane's shot was deflected towards Lloris, which is why it went the way it did. But I still think we need to get the ball and try and run at them a bit more instead of just keep passing it and passing it and passing it.
England really needs to look at their strategy and see what they need to do to change. It's a throw in to the 3 Lions to be taken by Luke Shaw, I think. So, or is it Kyle Walker? No, it is Kyle Walker, and Walker looks for the correct points. He throws, but it's headed away by France, and it's now caught this time by Rabiot. Rabiot passes to I think that's Varane, but he can only but swift work pass to Lloris, and now England are going off, and now England are trying to steal the ball, but an England player has gone down. It's Kane, and I think that was by Rabiot.
Yeah, definitely by Rabiot, and stood on the back of Harry Kane's boot and basically dislodged it, which made him topple to the floor. Definitely a free kick from there.
Well, the free kick was swiftly taken. It's Stones to Maguire, almost taken by Giroud, but England still managing to regain control. It's Stones to Henderson, now back towards John Stones, and Stones now needs to find. Stones tries to find an opening. He passes to Bellingham, but gives the ball away to Kylian Mbappe. That was sloppy ball control by England, in my view, but they seem to have redeemed themselves by re-intercepting. And I think Jude Bellingham, the result of a foul by Griezmann, I think it was, but whatever it is, it's doing nothing to. But whatever it is, it's doing nothing to change the situation. England still on the back foot, but the question now is if they will equalise with France before half time. And the ball's now being passed around to Henderson. Henderson this time to Jude Bellingham. Now back to Jordan Henderson. It's Jude Bellingham. It's Bukayo Saka, I should say, with the ball for England. And Saka dispossessed just outside the 18-yard box. But the referee's saying play on. He's still on the ground, though. But anyway, Giroud to... I think that's Antoine Griezmann. No, it isn't. It's Ousmane Dembele. Dembele tries to go around Foden. But the ball has now been passed this time again. But the ball's still with France. He's now passed down the wing this time to Rabiot. Rabiot to Mbappe. Now it's with Hernandez. Hernandez passes again. This time to Kylian Mbappe. It's Mbappe now with the ball to Upamecano. Now he's passed this time to Varane to Griezmann, now back to Varane. Varane now passes. Now Varane now trying to pass up the wing, but it only goes as far as Antoine Griezmann. And Griezmann tries to get inside the 18-yard box, but tackled very well by Jude Bellingham. Although France have regained control, and once again it is with Upamecano. Upamecano passing this time to Varane. Now it's with Rabiot. France, you'd have to say, didn't look. France, you'd have to say, most predictions were I think some predictions for France, would have counted against them, given that they arrived without Karim, Benzema, but to get to this stage is really good for them. And France still showing incredible decent performance that they've played so far, and including in the last game against Poland. So a throw in to France to be taken by Theo Hernandez, and Hernandez throwing to, I think that was Tchouaméni. Indeed, it was Tchouaméni. Now back with the ball. And Tchouaméni does well to pass back to Lloris in goal. Obviously, he was doing that to try and halt any attacks by England. But the ball's been given away to England, and it's now with Phil Foden. And Foden tripped or fouled by Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann showing his anger, and Foden just casually running away from it. That's the first I've seen anything happen like that. It's Declan Rice to John Stones, and Stones now passing to Maguire. Just over 36 minutes have been played. It's still England 0, France 1, and so Maguire now passing this time to Jordan Henderson. Henderson now to I think that's Stones. Now back to Henderson. Henderson passing this. Thought he was going to pass to Stones, but in turn, it's actually gone to Maguire. Now it's with Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw now trying to cross to Jude Bellingham, but dealt with really well by France. And England now have the chance to get back after the ball. That was, I think, a poor giveaway by France, but it goes back to Jordan Pickford in goal. After those attempts in goal about 15 to 20 minutes earlier, we still haven't seen much from England up front.
No, it's been pretty quiet so far in front of goal. They're just having a lot of balls passed around and then nothing comes of it. And that ball just runs away from Jordan Henderson there. But I don't think they're on the wavelength tonight. They're not playing very well. They've got to pass it round at the back, which is achieving absolutely nothing. And this goal from Tchouaméni, Bellingham's got to throw himself in front of that ball, not spin across it and end up miles past it.
Yeah, but
we're not putting enough effort in so far.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a split-second decision. Do you go this way? Do you go that? And unfortunately for Bellingham, he went the wrong way as Mbappe. As Mbappe has been brought down, I think that might have been by Henderson. We're still yet to confirm. Whether this will be a yellow card offence, and I'm sorry to say that, and I'm sorry to say this, but I think Henderson should have been carded. Anyway, it's given a free kick to France. It'll be Griezmann that will take the free kick, and so Griezmann is standing in, and it's a free kick from a distance. It's on the left side of the post as Griezmann passes and a cross forward to Theo Hernandez, and straight and almost again back to Mbappe, but he blazes it over the touch, the crossbar. To me, after that free kick, I'd have to say that was a sloppy ball play by France.
Yeah, it was, and really should have capitalised on that chance, but hey ho.
So England have nearly 5 minutes in order to turn their first half around. It doesn't look like the way they're playing at the moment. It doesn't look like they'll be doing that. As the ball has now reached Luke Shaw, and Shaw now crossing down the wing to Bukayo Saka, and Saka now needs to try and go around the France defenders, but he can only pass to. I think goes as far as Declan Rice. Now it's with Phil Foden. Foden back to Henderson, and now once again with Foden. Foden passes back to Henderson. Henderson passing back to Foden and passing back to Henderson. Now the ball has reached Bukayo Saka, and Saka now passing, or should that be Bellingham to Saka, and Saka now looking for Kane, but France again save, but France once again spare their blushes, and even as I talk to you now, France are almost on the attack. But I think Stones has gone down. And I think that was by Kylian Mbappe. Gareth Southgate showing his appreciation for what's just happened. But England really need to up their stakes right about now. And the ball's now been passed around to Phil Foden, who passes to Bellingham. Now it's back with John. Now it's with Declan Rice, I think, and Rice looks for a gap. He finds it straight to Kyle Walker, but before Kyle Walker can do anything, well intercepted by France. It's Upamecano to Griezmann. Now Griezmann crossing to Koundé, and Koundé now finding I think that's Dembele. Dembele crossing back down the wing, I should say, to Rabiot. Rabiot now to Upamecano. Total receptions between midfield and defensive line. Saka is on top with 12, and France now just in front of the 18-yard box, but well deflected by England. And a throw in to France, and it's taken by Ousmane Dembele. Dembele now passing the ball around. Crossed this time by Kylian Mbappe to Theo Hernandez, and Hernandez now finds Adrien Rabiot, and it's Rabiot to, I think that was Mbappe, but Mbappe was bundled down by I think that was John Stones, but in the meantime, play still goes on. It's now with Kyle Walker, and Walker trying to keep control of the ball, but dispossessed by Antoine Griezmann, and I think that's a yellow card for him. We'll await confirmation on that, but if it is a yellow card, did he deserve it?
Yeah, it was definitely a yellow card for Griezmann, and he just basically hacked Walker to the ground, just running through. Definitely yellow card, and I think it's been coming for a while, the first yellow card, to who was going to get it, and unfortunately, it's Antoine Griezmann that's picked it up.
France do not need this now, because if Griezmann receives the second yellow, besides it being a red, he will miss the semi-final match against Morocco. As Bellingham now passes the ball around to I think that's Harry Maguire. Now it's back with Bellingham. Now he's found Declan Rice, almost tackled by Griezmann, but Rice does well to hold on to the ball, intercepted really well by Tchouaméni, and it's now Tchouaméni again with the ball. Tchouaméni tries to look for Mbappe, but Tchouaméni's still going on with the ball, or was it passed to Dembele? It was indeed Dembele. Now it's with Adrien Rabiot. Rabiot now passing again to Koundé. Now it's with Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni to Varane. Varane now passing again. Was looking for Antoine Griezmann. Found him just now, but the ball was slightly over the line, and it will be an England throw. Nothing France can do about it. As Stones now passes to Harry Maguire. Now the ball is once again with Kyle Walker. Walker to Saka. Now back towards Walker, and Walker now passes the ball to Declan Rice, who in turn finds, I think that's Jude Bellingham. Now it's with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw looks for Phil Foden and finds him. And Foden is just outside. Foden just outside the 18-yard box. Tries to cross down to Kane, but deflected away really well by France. England are still not out of this though, and they do it. And England need to get the tackles in when they need to, and they haven't done that so far. And Hernandez now has the ball for France, but intercepted by England. And Kane had the ball momentarily, but it was unfortunate for him that Upamecano just ran into him.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still like to see a bit more movement off the ball, but yeah, it's getting better, Nicholas.
I'd have to agree with you. England are starting to get better at this, and 4 minutes have been added. On. Do you think do you think that 4 minutes is relatively adequate?
Yeah, we had the long stoppage for the Kane penalty appeal, and then there's also the goal. So yeah, I'd say that 4 minutes is pretty adequate.
Ball's now with Bukayo Saka. Saka's now looking to a pass to I thought he was going to pass to Henderson, but he was cut off by the France defenders. Now it's with Walker. Walker to Kane, I think it was. Now back to Bukayo Saka. Saka looks for Kane. Kane to Kyle Walker. England just wasted their time in passing the ball around, in my opinion. It's the ball is now found Bukayo Saka, but tackled really well by France, and it's now Rabiot to Kylian Mbappe, and Mbappe now has to find an opening, but he can only pass two. I think that was, Chouameni who was barged into by Saka. That didn't look malicious, in my view. I think what Saka did was by accident, but anyway, France still have control of the ball with Varane. Varane to I think that was Rabiot. It's Rabiot still with the ball for France. Now to Theo Hernandez. Hernandez now finds Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe back to Rabiot. Rabiot has now found Upamecano. It's Upamecano passing this time to I think that's Varane. Varane back to Upamecano. Upamecano crossing the ball forward to Giroud, but Kyle Walker did really well. But Kyle Walker did really well to intercept, and it will be cleared away from goal by Jordan Pickford. Pickford has now passed to I think that's Harry Maguire. Maguire now to John Stones. We're now just almost 2.5 minutes into the first period of stoppage time, as Saka now passes the ball around to Harry Maguire, and Maguire now passes up the wing again to Luke Shaw and Jordan Henderson. Shaw back to Henderson, I should say, and Henderson now crossing forward to I think he was looking for Kane or Foden, but either way it comes to no avail, and a corner to England. They failed to convert their first corner. Will they be lucky this time? As Harry Kane tries to direct his team into their respective positions. It'll be Foden to take the corner kick again, and so everyone waits with bated breath to see what the corner kick is. A bit of a scuffle going on inside the goal area, but the argument's quickly diffused, and Foden kicks the ball into the 18-yard box. A missed opportunity by Maguire or Stones to try and get it in, and so France can capitalise on this. We're now just 20 seconds away from half time, but it looks like we're going to get more of it as a France player has been fouled, and it's Theo Hernandez. And I'm not surprised, because Theo Hernandez has really been in the thick of it. Deschamps is I think shouting for a yellow card, and Hernandez clutching his ankle. That does look nasty.
Yeah, but I don't really think it's anything to do with Bellingham. I mean, he goes down onto the floor after slide passing the ball out, and they're just colliding each other. It's nothing deliberate. It's just where else is Bellingham supposed to go? He does not have flying powers.
No, he certainly doesn't, and no, he certainly doesn't. And the referee is listening to Chouamini and to Giroud, trying to give their points of the story, no doubt. But play resumes, and it'll be Walker to take the to restart the game. But we're going to go slightly over than what was initially intended for halftime, and in fact, the whistle has gone. It's halftime at the Al Bayt Stadium, and what was a really good first half for one side, yet very disappointing for the other. Halftime score: England 0, France 1, and quite a few things to discuss at half time, Luke. England started off really poorly at the start, but they appeared to find their form, even though it was some 10 minutes too late.
The thing is, the ball's being played around in way too many areas where it's not really too dangerous. And they try and play it forward. France is set, and they're intercepting the ball. I mean, Henderson needed to do better with the run that sent Rabiot through. Bellingham's played a few balls that are skewed out the way. There's been a couple of decisions where players have hit the deck and we haven't got decisions. I don't think the Kane appeal was a penalty, but I have seen them sort of things given. Not saying that they were right since when it were, but the goal from Tchouameni came more or less when France were dominating. Hit a long range shot into the far corner, and I mean, apart from that, both sides are pretty level and pretty even. So I think there's a lot of improvements to be had from the second half, mate.
What would you say? What would you say? Both sides will need to do to improve for the second half, starting with France.
With France, I think it's more of a just get hold of the ball, play it round, and get down our sides because we don't look comfortable down the sides.
And as for England, what do you think they should do to change things and switch it up?
Get in their half a bit more, retain the ball a bit more, get a bit of pace to run at them through the middle, and see where that leads you. Because at the minute we're going wide and trying to get in down the sides, but if we try and go straight through the middle, specifically at Varane, then we might get some luck. But at the minute we're just not going anywhere.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't look like England are getting anywhere. It's just that whilst England have been performing really badly throughout the majority of the first half, there's no other way I can put it. We just cannot deny how superior France were in the opening period, say 15 to 20 minutes.
The thing is, they have energy, France, in the front three behind Giroud. And we just looked a little bit lax, a little bit off it. Our passing was a bit too relaxed. And at the end of the day, you're in a quarter-final. You've got to be on it. You go playing sharp passing. I think the epitome of the half for England was Henderson just playing it mindlessly into Saka, and it just wasn't played with enough intensity. There needs to be a bit more movement off the ball, and I honestly have to say, Nick, that within that first half, we've had one chance from Kane where he should have lifted it over Lloris, but we've not really targeted their goal. They've only targeted our goal once with their goal. So really it's been a bit of a battle of which currently France have just edged it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But Yes, indeed. So whatever you, however you think, however you think the first half went for both England and France, then do please let us know in the comments or the chats. But again, keep your comments more. But again, keep your comments more tasteful. All I can say is that someone called King Homeboy commented early on saying that I wish this game was the final, but I'm going to enjoy this always. Well, I hope you are still, and we're going to we're going to take a bit of a short break for now, but join us but join us again when we resume our coverage just before the start of the second half. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of England against France in the World Cup World Cup quarter-finals. We're just about a few minutes away from kickoff in the second half. So before we get straight back into the action, Luke, what changes do England and France need to make?
France so far will be happy, so they won't need to make too many changes. Because I mean, they're leading, so in a minute they will probably feel like they're already in it. But I think with England, you need to probably stick on maybe Rashford to give a bit of more pace and attacking flair down that side. But I mean, it's hard to really say what England need to do because so far there's a lot that's been wrong. They're not been passing it, they're a bit lax on the ball. There isn't a lot of people that got the strength to hold the men off. Passing it around too much at the back. It all depends what our approach is to the start of the second half, whether we're actually going to get into this game or not, because the longer this game goes on at 1-0, the less confidence I will get.
If England do manage to get an equaliser, could they possibly take it to extra time, or do you think they'll be gunning for another one after that?
I think England will be pushing to try and win the game. I think that's what they'll still be trying to do, but it's difficult when you've now had a half where the players are set in this kind of mindset, and you need to get some youngsters to run at the defence and try and put a ball across.
So we're just about a couple of minutes away from restarting the second half. Don't forget, next week it's the semi-finals, and on Tuesday it's Argentina against Croatia with Russ Vernon and Paul James on commentary duties, and on the Wednesday Morocco will be against either England or France, and you can join Mike, Harneman and Luke with myself on presenting duties. We're just about ready for the second half to kick off, and it will be England that will kick off proceedings. This time. England will be going from right to left, and France will be going from left to right. And it looks like it will be Bukayo Saka that will restart proceedings. No, in fact, it's Jude Bellingham. Everyone waits for the referee to blow the whistle and restart the game. And away we go then for the second half between England and France, and a crucial 45 minutes for England. Like Luke says, they need to get on the score sheets and also get another goal in just to be safe. And so England now have possession of the ball. Griezmann tries to go after it, but it's been passed to Luke Shaw and almost taken by Kylian Mbappe. But England swiftly intercepted. No half-time substitutions have been made as of yet. Although we will confirm if anyone has. And it's still with Maguire. Maguire passing to Luke Shaw and almost picked up by Jude Bellingham. In fact, Bellingham does have the ball, but he's tripped up. Yet play still goes on. It's through. It's Phil Foden, and Foden just couldn't find the opportunity. And Foden just couldn't find the opportunity to cross the cane. And poor Jude Bellingham, he's all the way down on the ground.
Yeah, he was taken out by Dembele, and I think that should be pulled back for a free kick. But it'll probably be a corner. I don't know.
Never mind that. I think Dembele should have been carded, and in fact he has been. So for once the referee agrees with me, and in fact it's a corner to England to be taken by Foden, and Foden kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, but everybody misses. No, I should say England tries to go for it. Bellingham blazes it over the crossbar. That was just a few yards over it, and he knows it as well. That could well have been the leveller for England.
I think it was tipped over by Lloris.
Yes, you're right. It was tipped over by Lloris, and that has given England another chance. And Foden now takes a few steps back to take the corner again, which he does so into the 18-yard box. Is this the chance for England? But saved by Lloris. Lightning has struck twice, and I thought that effort from Stones and I think Rice was going to go in, but Lloris was there at the right place at the right time for France.
Yeah, that was a bit of an almighty scramble, but in the end, again, Lloris comes out on top.
England will need to press forward. England will need to press forward after that. And Rebecca Olari, who has been listening, has said, "Time to move it." And England are certainly moving now. But the ball is still with France. It's a Koundé to. I think that was Ousmane Dembele, and Dembele is now crossed up to Upamecano, and Upamecano does well to survive a deflection, but he's been clipped and fouled by Bukayo Saka, I think it was, or was it Bellingham? No, it was. Yes, indeed, it was Saka, and Saka lucky to get away with that. France take the free kick. The ball is now with Varane. And Varane now passing up Varane now trying to pass up the wing forward. It's now with the ball is with Rabiot. Rabiot now passing to Mbappe, who's pushed down by Jordan Henderson, and Henderson clearly upset about it, but Mbappe seems remarkably calm about it. I think Henderson has got nothing to complain about. What do you think?
He's saying he got the ball. Well, he didn't get the ball at all. He never touched the ball.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So he should have. Yes, absolutely. He should have at least been cautioned for dissent. And it's a free kick to France to be taken by Antoine Griezmann. And so Griezmann, one of the stars at Euro 2016, if you remember. And he takes his position, takes a few steps backwards, and he kicks the ball into the 18-yard box. Is this the chance for France to extend their lead? England managed to keep it out for the time being. It's Koundé who's passed to what looked to be I think that was Hernandez, but England quickly intercepted, and it's offside. It's offside. An offside infringement. So we're about 5 minutes into the second half. It still remains England 0, France 1, as Maguire passes to John Stones. It's Stones now with the ball for England, and Stones Stones can only pass back to Maguire because Griezmann was in the way. It's now with Luke Shaw, and Shaw now passes the ball around to Maguire. Now it's with John Stones, and Stones crosses up the wing to Henderson. Henderson passing to Bukayo Saka. Now back towards Henderson. Now the ball's found Declan Rice. Now Rice passing again to John Stones. It's Stones now with the ball, and up the wing it goes to Jordan Henderson. Henderson crossing this time to Bukayo Saka. Saka inside the 18-yard box, deflected away by France. Well defended. Is this the chance for England again? No. France quickly put a stop to that. And France, you'd have to say, have superior defending, but it looks as though France are going to try and make another break for it through Giroud. But well tackled by England. And England need to start keeping up this performance. That way they'll get the ball in, and it's factors easily in the 18-yard box through Bukayo Saka, and Saka fouled just outside, I think it was. Penalty to England, I think. We'll just have to penalty to England, I think, and the England supporters see this as an opportunity for England to try and to try and bring the score level. I don't think it's worthy of a penalty. Do you, Luke?
Well, it's took out in the box. I mean, that's probably more of a penalty than the Kane one. And to be honest, that came from Saka just running at his man and trying to get into the box. I mean, this is a glorious chance. England will not have a better chance to level this game.
They need to make this chance count. It's Kane to take the penalty for England, and Harry Kane just takes a few breaths. He has to, as he should do. He composes himself to take the penalty for England, and Lloris standing firm, watching his every move as Kane steps back and gets ready to take the penalty. We're almost 53 minutes in now, and Kane waiting for the referee to blow his whistle. He does so. Kane's now finding time to adjust the ball. Was it in the wrong position? Answers on a postcard, please. And he adjusts the socks. I think this is the longest time I've ever seen a penalty being taken. And so Lloris focusing on him, waiting, and Kane runs up, and it's in. England are right back in it now. What a superb penalty by Kane. He is now one behind Wayne Rooney, and Luke, this could not have come at a better time for them.
Well, we've come out on top in the first, I think it's now 5-10 minutes of this half, and that's exactly how you take a penalty, right in to that top corner, more or less. And Lloris went the other way anyway, so it was clearly a brilliant move, strike from Kane. And now we've got to make this dominant pay. Come on,
England. Now that they've got the penalty, England really. Now that they've got the penalty, England now really need to start stoking the fires and pushing them and putting on more steam as they look to retake the lead. But now it's France going for it again. Punch saved by Pickford at the last moments. The French player was completely unmarked. It was Rabiot, and that looked like a fine strike to me. But England now have regained control. It's now with Harry Kane. Kane does well to keep the ball just inside. Does well to keep the ball just inside the line, or does he? It might have gone fractionally over, but that shot by Rabiot almost went in, Luke.
Yeah, it was quite comfortably near Jordan Pickford, to be fair, but he started to get down and save it. Oh, and now we're on the attack again, are we? No.
Not for the time. We almost were, but it looks as though England are definitely back with it. It's now with Rice to Phil Foden. Foden just fractured outside the 18-yard box. He passes to Kane. Kane losing the ball to France. And France now have it through Kylian Mbappe by the looks of it. It's Mbappe trying to hold off Kyle Walker. He does so. Straight to the 18-yard box. Almost with Giroud. Dembele was completely unmarked. He didn't take the chance he needed to, and as a result, England have retaken possession. What was Ousmane Dembele thinking?
It's too far up. I have no idea what Dembele was thinking, but England needed to get out then, because it's clearly obvious that Mbappe has just got a little bit more pace than Walker. But wow. He just needed to hit that, but I'm glad he didn't.
I know you'd say that, but France just completely blew that in my opinion, and France now have to shake that off. They're doing just that, but England still need to take advantage of that penalty, and France look like they're going to try and go for another shot, but saved by Pickford. Giroud was too far back, and Pickford now passes the ball back out to Harry Maguire, and this time to John Stones. 57 minutes gone. It's England 1, France 1, and Stones now passes back to Maguire. Now it's with Luke Shaw. Shaw passing this time passing back to Pickford in goal. Now it's with Harry Maguire. Maguire has to hold on, and he does. He does want to cross forward to Saka and force turnovers. Rabiot currently topping that with 10, and I have to say right now, France are starting to. France, I feel, have now shaken off. Have shaken off the penalty that went against them, and I feel that they are starting to close up to England again.
Yeah, but you look at when we just had the ball.
Oh, hold up! Harry Kane is now England's all-time top scorer with 53. I got it wrong. So you were saying?
And you look when they had the ball last time and Pickford kicked it out, and they were all static. They need to move off the ball. That's why France can push up, because we're setting a shape, and they can push up to it.
Looks like yes, but even so, the ball is now still with England. It's now with Luke Shaw. Shaw losing the France diving header by Griezmann, who did really well to find Mbappe. Now it's with Tchouaméni, but he manages to find Hugo Lloris just in time. And the ball now headed away by Luke Shaw, who sent it to Maguire. Now back to Shaw again, and Maguire has to pass back to Pickford. We're now 59 minutes in. It still remains England 1, France 1. You're listening to the Commentary Hub with Nicholas Jones and Luke Turton. You can also hear us on the Commentary Hub too, JB Sports, Storm FM, Turton Talks Football, and on our Twitch channel, as the ball's now being passed back around to Harry Maguire. Maguire now to Jude Bellingham, and Bellingham has now found John Stones, and Stones just inside the centre area, and he does well to pass forward to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka goes for a shot, but it's deflected, but it's just saved at the last moment by Lloris. And that was a very low shot. So easy pickings, I'd say, for Lloris.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't really that great a shot, but again, that's the position that we need to get some of these players in, running through the middle.
Mbappe now with the ball for France, straight down to Ousmane Dembele. It's Dembele trying to cross forward, but intercepted by England, and it's now been cleared away for a throw-in to France. The throw-in has now been given to Ousmane Dembele. It's Dembele for France, and it's still and Daniil Baines, another of our new listeners, is saying game on. It certainly is, and Bellingham has now retaken the ball for England. It's or should I say Saka? It's Saka to Phil Foden, and Foden does well to get the ball, but he has to switch back because he'd be at risk of being offside otherwise. It's Foden to Bellingham. Now it's with Jordan Henderson. Henderson passing up the wing, I should say, to Bukayo Saka. Now back to Henderson. Henderson back to Saka, and Saka now advancing towards the 18-yard box, so he has to watch out for Hernandez. Saka passes back to Henderson. It's Henderson now with the ball, but saved again by Hugo Lloris, but you have to say now in the second half, England are starting to create more chances.
Yeah, we are, but the one from Henderson there was straight at Lloris. If he wants to do anything like that, he has to go across the keeper with a bit of elevation on it.
Tchouaméni now for France. Chouameni now for France, straight now to Rabiot, now back towards now back to Chouameni. Chouameni has now passed to Jules Koundé, and Koundé now passing to Ousmane Dembele, but Dembele's at risk of losing the ball, and he has. He's given the ball away to England. It's now with Foden, and Foden now has to run for it. England have had 7 attempts on goal, 7 attempts on target from 11, and France have had 5 attempts on goal. I couldn't see what what they were on target, and something has raised the refs' hackles. We'll try to confirm what it is in a minute, and it was Giroud. And in fact, it was Chouameni and Griezmann on Foden. How do you see this one?
I think it was a foul on Foden, but I don't think he was going to get the second card they were asking for, and that's probably what had irked the referee, the asking of the second yellow, which wasn't really going to happen.
Gareth Southgate was perhaps asking for it too on the touchline, but like Luke says, that was way aside as England take the free kick. It was headed for Phil Foden, but France did well to try and take it off, but it's been given back to England through Kane, and Kane trying to send it to Shaw. But France take it back, and it's with Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann tries to press forward, but it was deflected away by Declan Rice. And after just over 63 minutes, it still remains England 1, France 1, and Henderson or should that be Rabiot with the ball now for France, and Rabiot passing to Teo Hernandez, and Hernandez back to Rabiot, and Rabiot now passes the ball downwing, I should say, to Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe now to Koundé. Koundé now passing this time to Dembele, and Dembele crossing to Koundé, but Koundé I think was nowhere near the ball, and wouldn't you say it's now time for both sides to start bringing in substitutes?
Maybe another 5-10 minutes.
I'm surprised they've held out this long, because it's normally around that time that you would start bringing in substitutes. So as Henderson clears the ball away from the goal, we're just coming up to 64.5 minutes now on the commentary hub, as Saka now has the ball, but he's bundled down by a couple of French players, one of which was Hernandez, and the ball is now with Chouameni, but the referee is still saying play on, and Griezmann now passing up the wing to Chouameni, and it's Chouameni now again to, I think that's Giroud, or is it? Now it's come back to Chouameni. Chouameni crossing to Giroud, but Giroud was nowhere near the ball. And he's hurt himself by the looks of it. Indeed, he has, clutching his leg. I think he might have done a muscle in or something. And it looks to me, and I think Bukayo Saka might have been involved. We'll just have to try and work this one out. How do you see it, Luke?
Well, Giroud's over. Oh, it's the landing on Giroud. He's jarred his knee as he landed. But as for Saka, that's a free kick. He's been in a French sandwich and he gets taken down. How is that not a free kick? They're targeting Saka, and the referee's falling for it.
You could, instead of a sandwich, you could say he was actually part of a baguette, as Pickford takes the free kick, but it's only been cleared as far as Hernandez, and Hernandez tries to cross it forward, but it's been picked up by England, and it's now with Maguire to Stones, and Stones now passing to Declan Rice. And the ball has now been passed around to I think Rice. Now it's back with Luke Shaw to John Stones, and we're now almost 66.5 minutes into this match. It's still England 1, France 1, as Pickford does well to Does well to clear out of goal, and it's now been intercepted by Lloris. And right at this moment in time, I'd have to say it's become. I'd have to say at this time the pace does appear to have slowed down a bit as Koundé tries to cross forward but loses it to England. Quickly retaken by Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann tries to look for somebody up front, and in fact he does. I think he's found Kylian Mbappe. It's Mbappe now. It's Mbappe now with the ball. Straight now to Theo Hernandez. Hernandez passes again to Mbappe. Mbappe tries to find an opening. He crosses into the 18-yard box through to Ousmane Dembele, but England are quick. But England are quick to take this one away, and the ball is now cleared away from the goal by Harry Maguire by the looks of it. And if Olivier Giroud's injuries and if Olivier Giroud's knee really does come back to haunt him, then that is bad news for France. As Rabiot now tries to pass the ball around, but he loses it to Bukayo Saka of England, and it will be another free kick. The England supporters behind their team as ever. Gareth Southgate appears to have gone quiet. He's probably just now thinking about what his next plan of action is as Pickford gets ready to clear the ball away from the goal, and he does. Straight down the pitch to I think that was Bukayo Saka. Bellingham was trying to get hold of the ball, but Saka was, I think, held back by Rabiot, and the referee comes to. And the referee's coming over to have a look at it. No, in fact, it wasn't. It was Hernandez, and Hernandez should have been booked for that.
Well, it's about the fourth time Saka's ended up on the deck by a France player, pulling him over, tripping him up. I mean, they really have just targeted him, and at least this time we've got the free kick. I mean, yes, that probably was the yellow card, but obviously the referee sees it differently, and we all know what we think about officiating at the moment.
At the moment, officiating leaves a lot to be desired, to put it mildly. As England get ready to take the free kick, I think it will be either Saka or Henderson that will take the free kick. But I think Saka's closest to the ball. Oh, in fact, it's Henderson that will take the free kick, and the ball just wide by Harry Maguire. What's more, he knows it. Had he been a few inches more to his right, that could well have been the chance for England to take the lead.
That was a chance. That was a chance. Oh, wow, Harry Maguire. I think, yeah. Oh, inches, just inches.
Spared by at least a finger's width, and we now have 20 minutes to go until the end of the 90. From the way this game is going, it could well go to extra time as England try to regain control of the ball, but France do well to hold on to it. Given away to England again to Declan Rice now. It's Rice to I think that's Luke Shaw. Now back towards Rice, and Rice crossing down the wing to Phil Foden, but it's ended up with Luke Shaw. Now, is it going to go back to Foden? No, it isn't, because it was taken by Dembele. Dembele tries to play it forward, but it's given back to Kane, and Kane now passes to Maguire. Now it's with John Stones. Stones now passing to Rice. Now back to Maguire. And Maguire now has control of the ball, and Dunil says that was an opportunity, referencing, of course, to
get towards the box.
Now it's gone towards the box, and is it going to go in? No! Bukayo Saka just misses by a few yards, and England and after taking that penalty earlier, England just can't seem to break through.
No, that was that was a bit of a miss. But why is Kane so far out of the box when we're on an attack?
search me, but it's a free kick to France. Although to actually be honest, a France player I think might have deflected the ball away from Saka just now. But France really need. But this was almost an opportunity for France, and it's offside. Offside. I think Dembele might have been fractionally ahead of that last defender. But how do you see it?
Yeah, I think that was offside.
Gareth Southgate is liking what he's seeing, but you have to say that he needs to start making substitutes. That he needs to start making a change to get somebody else on the pitch. And I think Didier Deschamps needs to do the same as the ball has now gone out of play, and it was out by Hernandez, and but throwing quickly taken. The game has restarted, and it's now gone straight back to Henderson in goal. Olivier but it's not gone straight back to Henderson in goal. He's managed, Pickford passes the ball back out to Harry Maguire. And so it's Maguire now with the ball and crossing forward to Luke Shaw. And Shaw now finds Jude Bellingham. It's Bellingham passing to Luke Shaw. And Luke Shaw crossing into the 18-yard box, was looking for Saka, but headed up by Hernandez, and it's now almost caught by Henderson, but tackled well by Rabiot, and it's Rabiot and an England throw. Bellingham just inside the box, I think, although I think his legs were more inside the box. Bellingham shouting for a penalty. The referee won't hear of it. What's your take on this?
I think he went down a bit too easily there, to be fair.
We're almost approaching the 74th minute. It's still England 1, France 1, and it's Antoine Griezmann with the ball, and he's straight to Dembele, but it goes out for a throw, and it looks like one of the England substitutes warming himself up to try and get on. That looks to me like, or is it one of the French substitutes? I couldn't see who it was. No, in fact, it was Mason Mount who was preparing to come on. So I got there in the end, and in fact, it looks like he's getting changed as Griezmann now heads the ball to Dembele. Dembele passing to I think that's Varane. Varane now back to Ousmane Dembele, and French player goes down, but he wasn't in contact with the ball. Nice bicycle kick by England to send the ball out, and it's now with I think that was Chouameni, and Giroud almost headed it in, but it just whistled past the post.
Yeah, that header was miles wide, to be honest. It looked like he was just trying to go for a far corner, when actually there was, the goal was the other way.
And Giroud, I can confirm, was in fact the player that was pushed down when he was nowhere near the ball. So 14 and a half minutes to go until the end of the 90. England or France have to break through in order to settle this game, and it looks like England are going to try and do this now, with Jude Bellingham just passing the ball now to Luke Shaw, straight into the 18-yard box, almost picked up by Bukayo Saka, but losing it to Kylian Mbappe, and now the ball's been passed around to Hernandez. Saka tries to take it back, but France now have it again through Rabiot. Now again it's with Theo Hernandez, and Hernandez passing the ball this time again to a Chouameni. Chouameni now finds Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann now passing to Adrien Rabiot. Rabiot has found Mbappe again. Mbappe under pressure from Saka, but France still managed to hold on. It's straight to him. It's straight to Dembele. Giroud punched away by Henderson. I mean Pickford. But that was a well-timed save by England, and had that ball gone in, that could well have been the game for France.
What a save from Jordan Pickford, but we need to wake up a little bit again. We're going to sleep a bit. We need to either make a sub or just do something to wake us up a bit more. Because France coming into it again now.
Corner to France, taken by Griezmann, but headed away just in time by England, and the ball has now been caught by I think that was Hernandez. France going for another chance, and France have retaken the lead. It's Olivier Giroud. He beat Thierry Henry's record in the last match against Poland. Now he's added to his tally. And is this surely game over for England?
Oh, wow, that's a killer play. Let me look at this. Corner comes in and defended well, but then Luger closed the ball down. We're a bit slow at getting out for the second, and then the third player. The ball comes back in, and Giroud just beats Maguire to the ball and heads in.
Now that France have got their second goal, they are surely going to make life harder for England with some 12 minutes to go. Pickford was nowhere near the ball, and Didier Deschamps is smiling from ear to ear, and so are the French teammates and the supporters. They are just going to march on to the semi-finals the way things are going, and Paul James saying they left Giroud all alone there, very poor defensively. Then he went on to say, well, they didn't play the first time, but they did the second, and that is why it's now 2-1 to France, and Giroud. And Giroud's face shows pure emotional joy. For England really need to start playing for their lives if they are to take this game into extra time, which I think is perhaps the only option for them. But France aren't going to rest on their laurels. It's Luke Shaw trying to cross the ball forward, but he loses it to Kylian Mbappe, and in fact, 2 substitutions have been made. Henderson and Saka come off, and out and on come Mason Mount and Raheem Sterling. They should have come on earlier. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think changes had to happen before that corner, even before the corner was given. Oh,
hold it! England look like they were going to try and make another one. Is this going to be another penalty for them? I don't think it is, but play still goes on, and a substitution for France has been made as well with Kingsley Coman coming on for Ousmane Dembele, and that was Hernandez on Mason Mount. I think the referee was right not to call this one a penalty.
He just barged him out of the way, though.
Yeah, he might have barged him out of the way, but I think he was nowhere near the ball. And in fact, we go to a VAR check for a possible penalty. So I might have to eat my words again. And we're now going to await the decision. It seems that England can only benefit through penalties, and the check is over for a possible penalty. But he's going over to the monitor. And in fact, he's going over to the monitor to take another look. And now that he's looking at it from all angles, now he's going more in depth. Do you still think it's penalty worthy?
Yeah, I mean, he barges him out of the way, off the ball. As the ball went straight over the top of him. I think this is a foul. I think this has got to be given as a penalty for me.
And Hernandez, should he be booked? Hold that thought for a second. We're now waiting, and penalty given to England, and and it looks like it will be a mate, and it looks like and England will surely be relieved by that, as Jude Bellingham tries to talk to the referee to try and explain what happened. Mason Mount coming over to explain, but the referee is just saying, look, let's get on with it, shall we? And in fact, he is going to give a yellow card to Hernandez. And Daniel Bain says no attempt for the ball, and I think that's why he's getting it. And Eleanor Seychas says penalty was clear. Go England. Last man two.
Why is Bellingham still complaining?
Says Daniel, and in fact, he's not the only one that's complaining. Some of the France players are complaining about this one as well, including Upamecano. But now that I see it, the penalty was justified. Hernandez nowhere near the ball, and he just runs into Mason Mount like he wasn't there. And Mbappe can complain all he likes, but France can only hope that they spare the penalty, and it looks like David Beckham just can't bear to watch, as once again it will be Harry Kane to take the penalty for England, and Hugo Lloris watching his every move. Will it be second time lucky for the Spurs stopper? Will he be able to deflect the ball away from his Spurs teammates as Kane calmly takes a few steps back? He waits for the referee's signal to come on and kick the ball, to move forward and to kick the ball into the nets. We're now some 6.5 minutes. We're now some 6.5 minutes away until and Kane straight open. It blazes over the crossbar. That was far too powerful, and France have spared their blushes. It looks as though the game will be going to France, and the England fans just can't believe it.
Oh, that was way too much power and way too much height. He just had to put it into a corner, and Harry Kane.
That is just such a shame for England, and they'll need fresh hope soon, because it looks to me as though Marcus Rashford was warming up to come on, and in fact he's on the pitch now. He comes on in place of Phil Foden, and I'd have to say for Rashford, he hasn't got much time to turn things around for England, and Harry Kane will be kicking himself for missing that penalty, as Shaw gets ready to take the throw in, and to take the throw in. It's now with Jude Bellingham, I think it is, but a throw-in's been taken again by England. Straight now to Harry Maguire. It's Maguire passing to Stones. Stones now back to Maguire. Now again to Luke Shaw, and it's Shaw now. And Shaw trying to cross the ball forward, but intercepted by France. But given away to England, and the referee feels that and the referee thinks that somebody was at fault. I couldn't see. I couldn't quite clearly see what on earth happened. Luke, try and put me in the picture.
Oh, it's basically given a free kick for that Bellingham intent.
And it looks like Hugo Lloris will be taking the free kick for France. We've now nearly 4 minutes to go, and hopefully soon we'll have and hopefully very soon we'll have Luke's player of the match, as France look like they're going to have another chance, and in fact England have retaken the ball, but France did really well to hold that one off, and a great bit of defending that time by Kyle Walker, even though he had to go down for it. But very disappointing in every sense of the word. for Harry Kane and relief for France. And the ball has now been passed around to John Stones. Stones again to Kyle Walker. But a foul, I think, on Mason Mount. Yes, indeed, it was Mason Mount. But Mount doesn't make a meal of it. He's straight back up onto his feet. And in terms of pressures applied, Griezmann tops that with 63. And but for England, time is well and truly running out. And they have been given a free kick. It will be taken by Mason Mount from quite a bit of a distance back, from quite a bit of a far distance. Mount takes the free kick, goes straight into the 18-yard box to Harry Maguire. Now it's with, I think that was Marcus Rashford, but nothing doing so far, and the ball has gone out of play again for a throw-in. And whilst the throw-in's about to be sorted out, I can now ask Luke Turton who his man of the match is.
I've gone for Declan Rice because he's been overturning play quite a lot, staying when the ball back in crucial areas.
So Declan Rice gets up. So Declan Rice, Luke's player of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services. So at least England will go home with something. But that won't be enough as the ball's now been placed forward by Mason Mount. It's well over the crossbar, and England are just making too many mistakes in front, making just too many mistakes in front of goal. Mount should have crossed to Raheem Sterling. He didn't, and he suffered for it.
That was ridiculous. You just needed to carry on going, really, and then try and put the ball back across. It's nothing there at that angle. No.
Lloris sends the ball out of goal for France, straight towards Griezmann, but headed by Maguire, and Maguire now to I think that was Stones, and in fact somebody's going to get a yellow card for some kind of infringement, which I don't think I saw. I think it was a France player that might have got involved. It could well have been Kylian Mbappe, or is it going to be somebody from England? We'll just have to see. And in fact, it's Maguire that gets the yellow card. That was a naughty barge on Griezmann. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was a bit of a barge, but at the same time, we were trying to win the header.
So we're now into the penultimate minutes of normal time. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 5 or 6 minutes added on because of what happened with the VAR and the penalties and everything else. But France now with a chance to put the game to bed, but intercepted by Declan Rice. Now passed around to Kyle Walker, and Walker crossing the ball forward to, I think that was Marcus Rashford, or no, it was Raheem Sterling. But Sterling now getting into a confrontation with Mbappe, but England do well to try. But England do well to try and win it back, and the referee has stopped play. This is because of something to do with Adrian Rabiot, and 8 minutes have been added on, and this could well be a blessing for England to try and bring themselves back into it. But to France this could well be a heavy inconvenience, as Griezmann will take the free kick for France, and the French supporters just seem to feel that the game is very much theirs. So Griezmann runs up and kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, but it's headed away by England. Now it comes off Rabiot, but it's now headed away again by Maguire. Straight now to Kylian Mbappe, who passes to Hernandez, and Hernandez crossing again to Griezmann, but it's now been picked up by Mbappe. Mbappe has to defend from Kyle Walker. He goes round Walker. He almost does it, I should say, but he loses the ball to Raheem Sterling. Now it's gone back to Declan Rice. Declan Rice has to hold off Olivier Giroud, and Rice does well to pass back to Kyle Walker, and Walker crossing this time to Harry Kane, but it's been caught by Marcus Rashford. Back towards Kane. England now need to start England now need to start running forwards. They're doing just that with Luke Shaw. Is it going to go towards Marcus Rashford? Almost caught by Rashford. And I'm starting to run out of breath here. But Marcus Rashford could have. But Marcus Rashford was just a hair's breadth away from putting it in.
Yeah, he was really close there. Like really, really close.
Corner to England now to be taken by Luke Shaw. They've messed up their previous quarters, but now's the chance to put things right as Shaw kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, headed away by France. I don't think England fouled this one up. I think France were just too strong for them. But anyway, the ball is now with Kyle Walker straight to Jude Bellingham. It's Bellingham passing this time to Shaw. Now back to Raheem Sterling, and Raheem Sterling tries to cross, but saved by Hugo Lloris. Was he going? Although I have to say now, I think Sterling was going for a long range shot.
Yeah, probably. I'm not too sure.
Well, we've almost got 5 minutes left of injury time, but to me that long ranger did not look convincing. As France now have to defend, as France now have to attack, and England have to defend. But Declan Rice did really well to hold on to the ball before it was forced out, and the referee now trying to keep people back I think a few substitutes were almost on the touchline, but well handled by the referee, and it will be Koundé to take the throw in for France. Headed by Luke Shaw now to Harry Maguire. John Stones now has the ball, but he has to watch out for Griezmann, and he almost intercepts it for Mbappe, but it's now Kyle Walker. Walker does really well to hold on for England, but he has to pass quickly. He does to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling was aiming for Mason Mount, but tackled by Hernandez for France. So good ball control by France, but he loses it to John Stones, and it's Stones now needs to pass quickly to Maguire, and it's Maguire now running up the field, who passes again to Marcus Rashford, and it's Rashford to Jude Bellingham, and Bellingham now crossing to Raheem Sterling. Sterling has to go around Diallo, and the ball's now headed straight towards Luke Shaw, but headed away by one of the France defenders, but it's gone back to Shaw. Shaw now to Maguire, now back to Shaw. That goes into the 18-yard box, but it's saved again by Lloris. Hugo Lloris is really earning his money tonight, and with almost 3 minutes to go, France are still managing to hold on to their slender lead.
Yeah, we're not really not really creating enough currently.
And this could well make things worse for England. John Stones has gone down. He's clutching his foot. He might have done a muscle in his foot or something. The referee comes over to have a look. So do some of his teammates. Antoine Griezmann standing over him as well. That was something to do with Olivier Giroud. Giroud was involved. What do you think happened?
Again, I'm not really too sure. I mean, I was trying to look, and it might have been what Giroud's feet, but also it might have been the extent of it as he was landing. I think it wasn't that clear.
Certainly wasn't, and they need to get the physios out quickly to have a look at him and to have a look at him quickly, and then try and get the game restarted. But time is running out for England, and the fans know it. And just as I speak, the physios have come out now. Stones is on the ground, but he's writhing in pain, and it looks like Jack Grealish is going to come onto the pitch, but I'd say it's too little, too late for him.
I'll get at least another probably minute or minute and a half added onto this now because of the Stones stoppage, so it won't finish on 98.
I kind of see what you mean, but it will do little to influence the results. As far as I'm at least concerned. But Stones now being led around the pitch, trying to get some energy back into his legs. The Three Lions could well be on their. What the Three Lions are almost inevitably going to be on their way out. And the referee now issue it, and the referee now saying, bring him on, bring him on, just bring him on, just get on with it. And on comes Jack Grealish. He will take the place of John Stones, but it looks to me as though England will need a miracle to take the game into extra time. And I don't think there'll be even time for that, as France now have the ball through Kylian Mbappe. Although Raheem Sterling's after him, Mbappe does well to hold on to the ball, but a quick push by Sterling by Sterling sends the ball out, and it will be a straight goal kick to England. Cleared away quickly by Jordan Pickford. We're now into the last 10 seconds of injury time. In fact, it looks as though we are going to go slightly over, and we've now entered the 98th minute. Is this the last chance saloon for England? It's do or die for them now. And Raheem Sterling now has the ball. He passes quickly to I think that was Mount. Now it's gone to Declan Rice, or was it Jude Bellingham? No, it was Bellingham to Rice, and headed by Olivier Giroud. Now it's with Harry Maguire. Maguire foul just inside the D ring, and it looks as though it will be a free kick to England. So they still have a chance, a small chance, but a chance nonetheless.
Let Rashford take it.
And it looks as they certainly have to take it. The fans just can't bear to watch right now, and neither it seems can David Beckham. It will be Rashford or Luke Shaw to take the free kick. We're now into the 99th minute of it all, and Marcus Rashford Marcus Rashford, now the weight is on him. He has to score to make this one he has to score to make the game level. Otherwise, it's game over for England. That's it. That is certain. Mason Mount stands with him. Mason Mount stands next to him. France are starting to form a defensive wall, and any second now, the ball will be kicked into the 18-yard box, and it looks like it will indeed be Marcus Rashford to take the free kick. He takes a few steps back, and he gets ready to aim. He runs up and kicks the ball into the 18-yard box, but it just hits the net. And Marcus Rashford knows that he has blown England's chances of taking it to extra time. It's surely all over now for England, just touching the top of the net. Any second now, the final whistle will go, and you have to say, and we will get the thoughts from Luke in just a second. And in fact, the final whistle has gone. England are out. And the tears are very much real. Poor Harry Kane. He led his side so bravely, but it was just in vain. A consolation hug from Giroud to one of the England players. Jude Bellingham down on the ground, upset. Marcus Rashford will be inconsolable. But for France, they march on to the semi-final, where they will face Morocco. And all I can say, Luke, is that England were overpowered by France.
We basically just didn't play well enough throughout the first half of playing it around the back, not really going for the game. Then we come out second half, we get that equalising goal, but then didn't really do a lot again, left Giroud free, and then Kane had a chance to put a penalty away and misses, and then I never really thought we were going to get a goal back from there. I mean, we didn't really create much in open play, and anything we put in the box, Hugo Lloris just claimed it. But yeah.
The quarter-final curse for England has struck again, and they go out to potentially a side that could win the tournament. I didn't think they were the favourites in the preview, but now it looks like I might have to eat my words once again. But Gareth Southgate, he has been mercurial on the touchline, and just as well, perhaps, that the FA have extended his contract until the mid-2020s, and you have to say he has got to stay on as he tries to comfort Harry Kane. But the person he should be really talking to is Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kane, Rashford. I can't really say that either. I don't know. I'm a bit lost for words, to be honest, Nick.
And Jude Bellingham Jude Bellingham just receiving the comforts of Gareth Southgate. He's allowing people to cry into his shoulder, which is nice. He just wants his team to let it all out. But it's jubilation for France and Didier Deschamps to take it through and Didier Deschamps to go through to the semi-final. I think their play, because of the way they played, I think their semi-final place is well deserved, and someone called Stay More shares your views, Luke. No, England, and why? And Rebecca once again says, thanks, hosts and chat. But for France, what do you think they can do against Morocco? One of the revelations of the tournament.